I want to talk about a kind of wish list. If you were a, you were a guy like me who was kind of delusional, or I think I have a special pipeline to God, to Almighty, and every year I come around and tell God, hey God, I have this wish list. These are the stuff that I want to see happen in the coming year. And then she says, oh, you're my favorite psychic. You're my favorite humanoid. And I'll look in the list and probably gonna get every wish answered. And even though some of the wishes that I have might sound very outrageous, I usually get them. But I think that is not really a wish list that a person like me could come up with that would be something that higher authority would offer or fulfill. It's more like a cake that some ingredients are baked into the cake, and you have had this cake before, and you kind of say, I think I want cardamom and saffron in this cake because I like those tastes. And then then you go and buy this cake from the shop that you already know that they have put these ingredients in there, whether they told you or not, and then you eat it. It's like the wish has been fulfilled, but was it really fulfilled? Well, something like that happened when I made my video 2020 psychic predictions, and many of those predictions came true. In the beginning, I said that there is going to be a lot of fires, like that different countries set fire to each other's facilities or explode them. And the last one was the one that Israel kind of secretly or openly destroyed the Lebanese port. And I made this prayer to God that God, I wish that you would destroy Israel. You would destroy or have it occupied by the Palestinians, by Iranians, by Russians. And many of these Zionists would get killed, and even their major cities would get nuked. This wish didn't come true, but doesn't mean that it will not come true. Many such wishes have come true. It's the most evil nation that manages every year after year to infiltrate many governments, start wars. Well, last year they have given weapons to Azerbaijan, and Azerbaijan is killing the Armenians. And before, a couple of years ago, a few years ago, they were giving weapons and money to Armenians, and the Armenians were killing the Azerbaijanis. And now, the Iranian government is also getting involved. Well, that means that they started a war in another border of Iran. And this is the wish. This is the big part of the wish list, to see many Jewish bankers, many members of their cabal of Zionist criminals, wherever they may be, get killed, their system completely fall apart. The politicians that they get paid by them or they support them, they lose political power, and they get assassinated. This is a secret wish and desire of many Muslims, and especially Shia, to see this evil state and the evil people that comprise it. They kind of fall apart, or they even get killed. And I think that this wish will come true. Since its inception, Israel has done nothing but start wars, occupy the Holy Land, purchase and manipulate foreign governments, start wars, unending threats enforced by United States, by Western powers. Well, I think this wish is going to come true. Maybe not far in the future. Maybe next month. Maybe the day after tomorrow. But then I was talking to my son, and he was saying, "Oh, I think Trump is going to win." I told him, "No, Trump is going to lose, and he's going to lose by a wide margin." And he didn't know why somebody would say something like that. And I went through this video called Biden and Trump, Biden, and a Civil War. But I have a talent that very few people have. This talent is like this. Actually, I have several talents besides being a psychic, but this talent is like I have the ability to think for myself, to take facts, spiritual hunches and clues, and make a model of what is to come or what's happening before it happens. And I'm not influenced as much by what other people might want or what they think should happen. No, and I'm almost always right with the events that's gonna unfold. I think that Trump has many days left in the office, and he's going to do a lot of damage to the United States. He will start a civil war, and he will continue instigating foreign governments, especially Chinese, and will bring on an attack on U.S. military. For example, the Chinese will destroy aircraft carrier because they were provoked many times, and they were provoked again in a more major way. I don't know what form it will take. Maybe like U.S. will bomb one of their islands, or I don't know, nuke something there and say, "Oh, it was an accident," and the Chinese will nuke Washington D.C. So, "Oh, we are sorry, this was a bigger accident." And yeah, this is what I think will happen. And also, I had psychic dream. I saw that many U.S. politicians get killed, and I have had some part of this vision validated. I think that there are groups in the U.S. military, in their navy. There are portions of their population in East Coast. They call themselves patriots or whoever, that will attempt a violent coup. And I put some tweets about this on my video in the internet, and I find it very strange all these psychic predictions are made, and they all have come true, like on a schedule, and then people just kind of ignore it and go. I think to me it's very strange. Well, in 2016, before 2017, I said by the time 2017 arrives, ISIS will have lost so much territory. There will be hardly any country that they could say we have control of this place. And it happened exactly like I said it's going to happen. Well, besides all the very violent things that's going to happen, I think that there is some economic forecast, kind of, well, I'm going to make it, and some forecast about populations. But I think that several Middle Eastern countries like UAE, Bahrain, Azerbaijan, Armenia, well, Iraq and Syria are already like have become almost satellite states of Iran, but several countries will just fall and become part of Iran, either formally or kind of like informally. And I think that the Holy Land will come under occupation by Iranian proxies like Hamas, by Syria, by Hezbollah, and but not very long in the future, there will not be any Zionist states or even Jews living in Israel. But I think many Israelis are going to get killed, many Zionists, and some will run away to European countries, and even there in or even in the United States, they'll get prosecuted, and they're gonna go into hiding, as if a whole religion is gonna convert to Catholicism or go back to Catholicism, because the world, after witnessing these events, will be so sick of Israel, so sick of Zionism, and all the mess that it has made, and their ending that was also very violent, and was like a nuclear war. Then many individuals who would want to kind of shy away, would not want Israel at all. Well, to some extent, that's going to happen to the United States. There is psychic predictions by Edgar Casey, that there will come a day that the safety of many Americans, whether they're here in the United States or outside of the United States, it will be a very big question mark. Well, I think that the United States is going to do something very bad, very destructive, very violent. Many countries will figure it out. Well, one example would be that something like coronavirus or a chemical attack on many places, and many people will get killed, or there will be significant depopulation, and then the world is just going to turn against them in a major way, and not like throw out a few diplomats. They will just be haunted. But well, I'm watching this movie series or TV series. It's called 12 Monkeys. The United States is a pioneer in using anything for weapon, viruses, money itself has become a weapon. But well, I don't think that we are going to have a very pretty future for a few years. What in the Islamic tradition or end times prophecies, Prophet Muhammad says that a lot of the population is going to get killed, either by drone strikes or by viruses that different governments release into each other, or by nukes. I think many Jews will get killed by nukes, if not by all these rockets and just chemical or weapons or just explosions. Uh, then Prophet Muhammad said that in the end times the temperature of the earth will increase. It will be kind of hotter everywhere. There will be much less population, a lot of people, 9 out of 10 will get killed. But then our technology has reached to a level that we can keep the rest of them alive. Like there is going to be depopulation, and then well, I had some videos about how these things will happen. It's not just a single person will emerge, will be like the Jesus. I think that just the general consciousness of humanity will reach to that of Jesus or Imam Mehdi. But this is just a view that I have. Economically, there's going to be a deep deflation or asset price collapse and collapse in and extreme efficiency in money. Like any kind of money would buy you, can do things because the efficiency has increased. For example, many hotels, many travel industries, many airlines are shutting down because now you can talk to anybody. I talk to my brother all the time using Zoom or WhatsApp. Many things that were built up in the past, they would have to be sold off at deep discount because the population will get older, a lot of population will die off or get killed, and the rest of the population is able to get anything they want, whether it's communication or food, at very cheap price. So all their technologies, all their goods, all their buildings, all their forms of food, they have to be sold off at deeper and deeper discounts to attract people to buy those things. And well, I don't want to go over all the detail of my psychic predictions for 2021, but I kind of giving you a preview of one of them is there will be depopulation. There will not be any more Israel, either through nukes or massive drone or rocket attacks. It will get reoccupied. There will be worldwide resurgence against the United States, against their diplomats. Well, actually, I will be calling the 2021 the year of end games. Whatever didn't happen in these 70 days of Trump and the disasters that he is going to do Whatever didn't happen this year is going to happen definitely on the next year. Well, of the predictions I made for the year 2020, some haven't come true. I said many U.S. politicians are going to get killed in violent coup. Israel is going to get attacked and reoccupied. The Holy Land is going to get reoccupied, and the worldwide will turn against United States, against their citizens, and then well, the economic collapse already happened, and what else? But I think that some positive things will happen, and there is some predictions by Prophet Muhammad, and I'm kind of studying up on these things that I kind of gave a clue in one of my videos. Was called Elohim's favorite pets, like how there were other species, they were smarter than humans or humanoids, and they disappeared. They were giants in the film, but humans, they survived and we multiplied. It's because we are favored by a different, much more advanced alien or civilization that actually genetically engineered us, and it kind of gives support and feedback. Well, these ideas kind of conflict with my belief in the universal consciousness or God, but then there is a lot of evidence that this God could be yet an intermediary to higher than, like there is cascades of gods. These ideas are very strange, but there is some evidence that humanity was engineered using genes of aliens, other creatures, and they kind of did it for a purpose. Well, there is some literature in ufology that talks about humans as containers, like there is a concept in Christianity called salvation through suffering. That means that when the spirit comes in the body, then it evolves because of all the troubles, and this evolution which happens internally is valuable in some spiritual sense to different higher order creatures. I have trouble even accepting some of these ideas. Just kind of like so speculative that I just kind of look at them. Well, I think humanity is gonna be like me, kind of walking to different episodes of her history, that there were other civilizations and many of them were better, more advanced than us, and then there's going to be a climax to end times. The, there is a concept. It's called like inducement. Say, for example, there is one creature can induce messages or even voice into another creature. Like, for example, well, I'm not going to go there because these ideas are so speculative, but we'll go over it later on. But these developments are interesting. Well, economically, we are going to do great, and our future is a future of abundance if individually we don't get killed, or if a lot of us don't get killed. Uh, I was watching these videos that the North Koreans had made, and they were showing off these rockets. Well, the rockets were so massive. It was like, one of these trucks, a real white truck. Each one of these rockets looked like each one of them is like a Saturn V rockets. And they were saying that we just made these rockets, and they showed like 50 of them were coming down on a military parade. And so, each one of these is a multiple rocket launcher, and they were showing, they were just shooting them in the space, and each one of them, the cones would come out like the 10 cones, and each cone is gonna destroy an entire American city, Detroit. One is for Detroit, and there were like 50 of these trucks, like 600 targets, all being nuked, and they were parading there. And then there were other videos coming out from Iranian government was saying, oh, these North Korean rockets are so favored, and you probably don't listen to foreign media, and I do listen. And every week the IRGC comes out. Oh, we made this rocket that goes, into space and comes out of the other. And did you know we have re-engineered UFOs? And look at our new radars we made, that they can detect the smallest drone you can ever imagine. And we made this other system that destroys drone as big as a bird. Okay, like the whole region around Israel, around the Persian Gulf, is so full of all these rockets. Well, there was another thing they would say, oh, we just made these farms, they're underground, and there are hundreds of rockets. You can't even see them from satellite. They're like 500 meters down into the ground, and then they were showing images that like 100 rockets came out of the ground. I can't strike any place, well, I think that the war is going on, but it's not really, the Iranians, they don't really broadcast it very much. I think the Russians are doing the same. They just, if they want to kill off some ISIS or Israel, they just do it. And so, there was this incident, forget it. But yeah, economically, there is going to be a deep deflation, or asset price collapses, and the remaining part of the humanity, the 10%, the 20%, well, they're going to have a huge abundance if we don't get killed or die from exotic viruses. We're just going to have so much stuff. And I already have gone very far in some of these ideas, and I don't want people freak people out, some of the stuff I see. But thank you very much for being my YouTube channel. I think that I'm one of the most neglected. My stuff is so accurate, so outrageously good analysis. I never get credit for it or any publicity, but hey, at least they like my video and subscribe. even though sometimes it might really conflict with what you think might happen. Thank you again.